Shabbos. Shabbos, everybody. It's Shabbos. I'd like to say that this moment is the first moment of something, but it's not the first. It's just third, fourth, maybe not the last time that we're coming back together after being apart, but hopefully it is. Who knows? Do we know? I mean, how much do we know? It's like, what do we know? I'll tell you one thing I know is that my wife brought me a sweater because it's a bit chilly in here, so I need that. It's a bit chilly here in our, yeah, you can bring it, just have it like lobbed over, like, you know, people can, like, it can surf its way to the front. Oh, we're bringing the warmth back. We're bringing the warmth. Friends, I can say this, it has been a while since I said to those who are here in the sanctuary, shh. I like that, shh. I like that, I have to say it too. I like that, it's so hard not to talk. We're here, you know, it's great. Welcome back. So really, what do you say when people come in? When you haven't seen someone for a while, you say, Shalom Aleichem, good to see you. And they say Aleichem Shalom. So we'll say Shalom Aleichem. And in the Zumagog, everybody, Shalom Aleichem. Aleichem Shalom. Oh, it's good to see you. So whether you're zooming in from Great Neck, like Joni Miller, around the corner, who knows? You're from the Shulamit in Florida, I don't know. Who knows? Or you're here. It's good to be together. It's good. So join us in your Siddur on page 6 as we sing to one another and to Shabbat itself. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malchei Amlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Leshalom, Malachei Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Amlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyonim, Malchei Amlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. You know, so the essence of longing comes from a sense of what's missing. There's a German philosopher named Jürgen Habermas that said the essence of all philosophy or love for wisdom is an awareness of what is missing, a lack, a chisaron. Our teaching tells us that it's from a lack that people breathe, right? When God created the world with an exhale, it was from a sense of a longing to have another inhale. So God had to exhale, create the world, and then say, another inhale. So I know that a lot of us have been missing just being able to sit together and hear instruments and not have the pause between moments where you go. Right, no. There's something about being uninterrupted that comes with dancing together, being together. If only we could bring that lack back with us to when things are no longer lacking. Wouldn't that be something? An awareness of what's missing even when you have it. An awareness of what a gift it is to be able to sit together and sing and have Shabbat. So please join us chanting these words which are full of longing for what is missing and for what is present also. On page 8, Higalena on the bottom of the page in the bolded Hebrew. So take your temperature now, your Shabbat temperature. Just notice your heart and your mind. And we'll check it again in about an hour. On page 11 and 12, Shir L'Adonai. Shir L'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru L'Adonai, Kol ha'aretz, Shiru L'Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Ba'asu miyom le'yom, Yeshuato, Zahaveru, Lagoyim, Ke'evodo, Ve'kol ha'alamim, Imlotai, Gadol, Umul al-Me'on, Nora, Alko elo, ay kikon lo ami meling Adon shamayim masa, on bekandam vegevana, on betiveh, mikdashon amul avay. breakout amim, Avon Adonai, Avon Baoz, Avon Adonai, Gemo Shimon, Zecher Michal, Baruch HaSukar, Ishtachavim Adonai, Ve'adakon Kodesh, Hero Mebana, Kol HaHevrim, הארץ ישפוט עבר את צדק ואמין באמונתו Please rise if you're able. Psalm 29, feel your feet on the ground beneath you. Amun Adonai Elohim Amun Adonai Ayaka Avod Va'oz Ayaya Amun Adonai Yehoshua Amun Adonai Be'agnas Kodesh Shalom, give us all strength and peace. May Yah bless us with strength and peace. You may be seated, everyone. On page 21 and 22 on the bottom of the page, these words of our ancestors, so powerful and so hard exactly to translate. What does it mean? Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Li'olam Va'ed. Blessed is the source of life in all dimensions, in all realities. Blessed is the name of your numinous presence, Rabbi Jill translates here. Or as my Rebbe Reb Zalman used to say, throughout time and space your glory shines, majestic one. I think it's fair to say that pretty much encapsulates the religious impulse, which is throughout the density and the opacity of daily moments, something radiant is present. More than 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, water is bigger than the sum of its parts. And so are we. And when we have a glimpse of that which is bigger than the sum of all of our parts, we say, Baruch Shem Kavod. You need one good Baruch Shem Kavod in your life, and you can live on it for decades. Just once under a starry night. Or holding a child or grandchild. We humans need our Baruch Shem Kavods, right? We need that numinous, we need that something that gives us a taste of it, because once you have it, you can't really forget it. You can think you'll never get it again. You can think that you wish you could. But once you've had a taste, it's like, wow. So I hope that all of you have had a couple of those in the last 2 years. But if you haven't, I hope you had some in the bank. Because more are coming, God willing, for all of us. Baruch Shem Kavod. Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Leolam Chaim, Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Leolam Chaim. Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. If your eyes are not already closed, I invite you to close them. And immediately feel and bring awareness to and bring attention to your body as you sit here tonight. Bringing your awareness to just the sensation of sitting, the pressure, the sensation of your body being held by the pew or by the ground. Just bring feeling and awareness to the sounds in the room, noticing what you hear without grasping or reaching for it or analyzing it. Just noticing the sounds that are already in your field of awareness. And as you're aware of the sounds in your body, bring a very gentle and effortless awareness of that which in you at this moment is at peace. Even as stories and thoughts of the past or of the future are present, just notice there is that in you, a place of peace, of Shabbat. And with each breath and each inhale and exhale, imagine that place expanding and contracting. As you inhale, peace expands. And as you exhale, it comes back to its center, its original point. And whenever you feel ready, I invite you to open your eyes, but keep your ears attuned as Rabbi Rivera shares a poem tonight.
Of Keren or curating. Of the first humans, Adam and Chava, it was said that they were resplendent in garments of light. Clouds of glory, letters luminous. They were radiant like a torch, ample and generous below, and narrowing at the top, it is said. Then came the knowledge from the tree, and light became skin. And our teacher Moshe, it is said, he came down from the mountain bearing 2 tablets of the pact of understanding. Moshe was unaware. He didn't know. Moshe lo yada, it is said, that the skin of his face was radiant since he had spoken with the Holy One, blessed be. It is said of his face, ki keren or panav b'davro ito. Rays brilliant on every side, karnayim miadolo, and therein within is this glory enveloped. V'shem chevyon uzo. Hila, emanation of light. Or hamakif, surrounding, enveloping light. When I walked in the dark, God's light is upon my head, says Iyov. Aura in aura, reflecting elevation. Face, literally, beaming rays that could blind, were it not for the compassion, the sweet compassion of the veil. And where it would be the darkest, within the womb of the mother, it is said that God holds a lamp while an angel teaches the soon-to-be-born Torah Ora. In the state sublime, the soul is aglow with the light of the realms on high, Hila, this divine presence surrounding. Hello, halo? Hello, halo. When a person fulfills mitzvot in perfection, it is said, with all of the details possible in this plane of action, and infuses their body with mitzvot and soul with intense purity and holiness of thought, upper worlds become energized, and they're infused with all creativity. The glory of God comes hovering, illuminating, guiding a humanity, how to be according to the will divine. And that Torah, the writing of Torah, it is said it was done with a quill. But then something happened, some ink was left over. And Moshe, it is said, he passed it over his head, and then poof, comes the rays of splendor. A mitzvah is a lamp, and Torah is light. Inspired by Keren Or Panav, this glow that I saw this last couple of days from two of our rabbinical students who delivered their senior sermons, Heather Shore and Yonatan Arnon, both suffused with light, and the music that emanated from the gathering of Rabbi Dayan and Chazan Basya with our Avraham ben Arechat Yamim, Arnie Meyer. Thank you.
So that Karen Orr, that illuminate face, is captured beautifully in this most famous possibly of all of our liturgical poems on page 25 and 26. L'chadodi, come receive the face of Shabbat. Shabbat's face is illuminate with the light of Torah and the light of mitzvot and the light of people who are healing the world. L'chadodi. L'chadodi likras kala v'nei Shabbat ne'ekah v'la shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad ishmiyanu elam yichad Adonai yichad U'shemo echad L'shemo tiferet ve'letila L'chadodi Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Nikara v'la L'chadodi Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat Nikara Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki hi mekor merosh mikedem sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila Dodi likras kala V'nei shabaz neka Avila Lecha dodi Likras kala V'nei shabaz neka עיר מלוכה, מתוך אף אחד, רב לשבת בעמק, והוא יחמור עלייך, לך דודי, הנה שבת. Shabbos, Lauren and Jeremy, Lecha Dodi, Holy Krat Kala. Oh, Karen and Leslie and Barbara and Keith, Daniel Berlin. Na'ari me'afar kuli, Libshi bigdei tif'artech ami. Al yad ben yishades halach bi karva el nafshi getmala lecha dodi kas kalab neshamas ne Orech Uri Uri Shir. Sing your song in the Shamala. Kevod Adonai Alayach and Daikin and Ma Kala and Arni Nikah Nechado Lana and Roberta Carol and Bracha, Yidnei Shabbat, U'nikala Lecha Dodi, V'nei Shabbat, Kakara, oh, yeah, gamba, the Kavita, Kandori, Kakara, gamba, the Kavita, hey, oh, she will not take me, not is to cut me, Umataname, Bagya Kasuani, hey, Nimeta, Iratina, oh, Kandori. On the camera, yeah. They can't do the camera, yo. And in a bar, the camera. Only Jesus, goes again. Hey, I come never again. Yes, it's all again. And the again. In so scatter, the dark color. Dodi Kakara Megamba Visu Tifroti Etadon Eta Ariyeti Al Yadish Ben Barti Ben Ismecha Ben Adila Lecha Dodi Kamela Lecha Dodi I ain't a lie. Before we turn to face the door, we have a couple of couples in this room who, when we last were together as a community, were not yet married. If you are a newlywed couple, please rise.
She's hiding.
Like, actually, everybody else can stay arisen too. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. I thought June. Awesome. We're going to get to another couple that just got engaged this week, but as we turn to face the door, we say, Boi b'shalom, ateret ma'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzohala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, Shabbat HaMalkah. Likrat kana yamabai, b'nei Shabbat, nekamela, lecha dodi likrat, b'nei Shabbat. As you turn to face Jerusalem and to face the front of the temple, and please remain standing. Just look around the room. I bet a lot of you recognize one another even with your masks on. In my son's school, their class picture was done with their masks on because they all, that's normal now, But it's a beautiful thing to be able to see somebody's eyes and know who they are. Or to see how they walk and you know who they are. See how they, it's like you can have an image of the person who prays next to you, and when you look back at Romemu, you say, the person next to me, they pray this way. This is the way they pray. Every person has a secret. Every person has a secret. And some secrets they want us to know, actually. Shabbat wants us to know her secret, too. Shabbat says, you know what my secret is? Every week I'm going to remind you that the world looks like it's just full of all kinds of lines and boundaries and divisions, and they're true enough, but there's another truth, which is they're not so true. If you've ever done any mindfulness meditation, any contemplation, you know that as soon as you begin to interrogate assumptions about where you begin and where you end, it's a slippery slope. When we all are awareness and we're all spirit, then there is no ground and foreground, it's just awareness. It's just the secret of Echad. Raza, so front, back, side, above, below, it's all one. Words to this are on page 30, and they come from the Zohar, the 13th century mystical work, Kigavna Raza.
Kigavna Dinun Misyachadin Liela V'yachad Ofachi Isyachadat Litata Pirazah Shamali Shabbat Desachana Derazah Diechad Lenishvei La Raza Diechad Shabbat Shabbat Kesachada
Raza De'echad B'mishrei Raza Shamadi Shabbat Zachada Raza
De'echad B'mishrei Raza De'echad.
So as we pray for those in need of healing, bring to mind those in your life that you're holding in your heart tonight. We'll also see names of those in our community who are being remembered tonight for healing on the screen to my left. Find the words to this psalm prayer in the back of your Siddur on page 113, I think. In the bottom right, taken from Psalm 147, Harofeh L'shvor Lev, healer of the brokenhearted.
Healer of the broken-hearted, binder of their wounds, counter of uncountable stars. You know who they are.
Harofeh L'shvor Lev, Chabesh Le'atzvotam, Mourner Mispar לכוכבים, וכולם שמות יקרא. We bring to mind all of those who are in need of healing. Our care and concern and our love for them motivates us to pray for them and to send them love, to be with them, to steward them, to support them, to sing with them. We pray for a full healing in body, heart, mind, and spirit. And may healing itself have a way of becoming a hallelujah. May there be a speedy healing, and let us all say, Amen. Shabbos Romemu.
Shabbos.
Wow. Okay. Thank God. We have a couple of brief announcements for you. If you're here for the first time, either in the synagogue or here in the synagogue, we invite you to, if you feel comfortable, in a moment to share your name and where you're from, and we'll just welcome people. A couple of very brief things. First of all, this Shabbat, as all of you who have been with us for the last 2 years know, that we have been inviting as a means towards the end of lifting up one another and also supporting the community, sponsorships. And so, in honor of Rabbi Mira Rivera's incredible dedication and devotion to this community, but I also think most importantly because you're a healer and you've been in need of healing as you fell, and the community was with you as you fell, and your healing is, thank God, going so beautifully, and your millionaires wanted to honor you by sponsoring tonight's extra musician for our Kabbalat Shabbat service. So the beauty of this service is dedicated to you, Rabbi Rivera, and so to your continued healing and continued mastery of what it is to be such an inspirational force for so many people in our community in owning their leadership and becoming who they're meant to be. We thank you. So if you'd like to also sponsor something similar to this, I'd like someone to sponsor Shabbat for Chazan Shechter. That's what I would like. I'm just putting that out there. Also, announcements. Upcoming, Rabbi Jill Hammer is a gift, a precious, precious gift within our community, within the broader Jewish community. Those who don't know Rabbi Hammer's work, she's a once-in-a-lifetime scholar who combines academic rigor with spiritual audacity and spiritual adventure. She's a one-of-a-kind, and she is not only a proud member of our community, but she's also an incredible author whose book launch for Under Torah, an earth-based approach to the Kabbalah of dreams, is going to rock our world. So everybody, February 27th, 7:30, as she always does, I just should say, Rabbi Jill Kohenet Shil she's a completely paradigm-shifting teacher and presence. You know, if you've ever studied with her, you'll never forget it, and if you haven't, I hope, this might incentivize you to go do it. It'll change your world forever in a good way. Never Too Late is the Bar Mitzvah journey the name of our Bar Mitzvah course for those who have had a bar bat mitzvah or Bar Mitzvah that they'd like to redo or have never had one, together with Rabbi Diane Kohler-Estes and Jackson Mercer, become part of that journey. It begins Tuesdays on March 1st will be the first one. Also, how many people here actually have done an adult Bar Mitzvah before here with Romemu? That was not a plant, but I guess all of that. It's just, yeah, unbelievable. Thank you for that. That's great. Okay. Would Rich Orloff please stand up? Rich Orloff. Rich Orloff, if people don't know Rich, we know you, Rich, but those who don't yet, this is Rich Orloff. He's a member of our community who also happens to be an incredibly talented playwright. We'll get to that in a second. On your screen, I'm off script here, director, the documentary, Something in the Water, that's happening on March 2nd. It's essentially a documentary about the divisions in this country and how we can come together across divisions. And it looks at, the obstacles that are confronting the promise of America, even though it's still alive and it's prospering. The Social Action Committee of Romemu is actually sponsoring that. And there'll be a panel discussion with the filmmakers. And also, Rabbi Amy Grossblatt Pesach she's also an incredible teacher, lives down in Florida, and she's written a book on parenting on a prayer. For anybody who's been parenting through the pandemic, we know it's been on a prayer. And her book looks at really good, yeah, that's it, right there. So 4-part series, and that's going to be happening starting on March 3rd. It's 4 parts. Now to Rich Orloff. Thank you for standing up again, Rich, and allowing me to let everybody know that you've put together an incredible program for our Purim Carnival and for our Purim Spiel this year, Esther in the Spotlight. Thursday, March 17th, there will be a Megillah reading. Before the spiel, there'll be a Megillah reading the next morning, so Purim is all on. Masks, masks are not optional on Purim. You have to wear them on every level. So masks, mandatory, March 17th, that's Purim. Okay, huge mazel tov. We talked about people getting married. Well, Luke and Marina, those who don't know, Luke has been one of our musicians and worship leaders here for the last couple of months. He's a dear soul. We love you, Luke, and we love you, Marina. They got engaged this week, so we just wish them a huge mazel tov, everybody. Mazel tov. They might be watching now. Their parents, their grandparents, the whole family from Chicago. We don't know, but we love you guys. You guys are awesome, and we're super excited for you. And they'll be here tomorrow. Luke will be here tomorrow, so come and celebrate with him tomorrow, but also come back tomorrow to celebrate with, drum roll. You're good at that, Rich. Wow. That was good.
That was great.
Tamar is having her bat mitzvah tomorrow. We've been waiting a long time, Jeremy and Lauren and the whole family. We are so thrilled, excited. We're so excited. That's going to start tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It'll be a unique bat mitzvah experience. You'll see when you're here. Tamar has taken on a bit more than usual for our bat mitzvah, mitzvah students. It's going to be remarkably beautiful. We're so thrilled. Everybody here is invited as well tomorrow to come and be with us. Open book tomorrow morning with Rabbi Kohler Estes at 8:45 as well. Okay. I said brief announcements. I'm sorry. That was my intention. Who's here for the first time? Anybody want to say hello? Anybody? Any welcome?
That's it.
Hi. Would you stand up and just, do you mind standing up and just say your name?
I'm visiting. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden. Edward Bromberg. Hello.
Welcome from Stockholm, Sweden. Thank you, Edward. Okay, hi. Hi, Annette. Oh, that's great. Thank you for being here. All right, and that over there, yeah.
Steve and Diana have this workplace in the city. We belong to a Reform temple out in Newfield, New Jersey, but we also have a place in the city, so we're checking you guys out.
We're so thrilled that you're here checking us out. It's great. How's the first date going? Are we gonna, are we double Dutch or what are we doing? That's all good? I can't hear you. I'm kidding. I'm happy you're here. I'm so happy. Great. Just joking. I'm happy you're here. Oh, yeah.
I'm Gary Slatton. I'm here to visit. I'm also with Rich's show. And this is one of the most beautiful evenings so far I've had in my entire life.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so happy to be here with you. Thank you for that. Shabbat Shalom from Jamie. I'm just going to hold on for a second here. I see it's you, Jamie. Trust me. And I'm just going to say hi to Chazan Jesse Romer, who's here from Philly. That's delicious. And then there's who's this? Sharon from Connecticut. And Ray is taking Shabbos in early in Berkeley. That's nice. A little Shabbat, Tosefet Shabbat. Bita is here from New Jersey. David and Holly are from Piscataway, Passacow, I don't even know if that's right, from Vermont, help me. And Joni, ambassador par excellence, is welcoming everybody. Now it's Jamie Askin in the back. Okay, insider baseball. Jamie started this community with us, and she just moved away, and she's back, and so we're so happy to have you back, Jamie. And it's so good to see you, and it's always good to see you on Zoom. It's good to see you here. It's good to see everybody in Zoom too. Just hello to everybody. I see Daniel, I see Andrea, Rachel Maclef, Nikki, and Batia, and Sharon Buckman, Ramit. Why don't you all look around the Zoomagog and check out who's there? Stephen, just check them out. Just say hi to folks. And we're going to continue saying hi to folks here in the room. Hi.
I'm Charles. I'm with the Boardwalk's show, and it's a thrill to be here.
Good to have you.
I don't need a mic.
We're good, Jeff, we're good without the mic. I'll just repeat what people say.
But the Zumagog can't hear.
I know.
That's why.
I'm just going to keep repeating in my own words what people are saying. So that'll be the way we've done it for almost 10 years. Okay. Anybody else want to say hello? Anybody else want to say hello? Shira. Hi, Shira. Welcome, Shira.
I'm from Canada.
Janima is here from Brooklyn, everybody.
Brooklyn.
Okay, folks. Why don't you just stand up for a second and walk over to somebody and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Just one or two people, say hi. And we're going to bring you back with some song.
Plants.
I don't know why.
Peter's going to be in B minor. Sorry.
Yeah. Producer checking. We don't really need to stop. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll basically do a drum.
Shabbos, Gary, Barbara, Keith. Chat's open so you can Shabbat Shalom one another in the chat. Please join us. Please rise if you're able.
Et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated. Eloheinu.
Page 33 and 34. שבדבר המעריבה רבים מחוכמה פותחת שערים, ובתבונה משנה עיתים מחליפת הזמנים מסדר את הכוחנים שלי. ורד יום ולילה גולל עולה כמו מלחושים שלי. ואילך חיה וקיימת, תמיד תמלוך עלינו למבאר. ברוכה הנשכינה המעריבה הרבים. מצוות חוקים משפטים אותה לימדת, כי איננו אלוהינו ושוכבנו תקומנו. ויהרתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. O source of love and life, may we access that love. Oh, Hivamo Yisrael. Henenai, nai, nai. Henenai, nai, nai. Henenai, nai, nai.
Shema. Israel. Adonai. Eloheinu. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבבך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם במזוזות בביתך ובשעריך והיה
If you listen, really listen.
I will pour down rain upon the
Page
land
41,
in season,
the second paragraph
autumn rain
of
and
Shema.
spring. And you will gather
Every
in your
seed you
grain.
plant is what you will harvest. Teach your children to plant seeds of care, concern, and compassion, selfless, kindness, and tenderness, and generosity. עצרת השמיים לא ימתן, והאדמה לא תיתן את יבולה, אבל תמירה מארצה טובה שאדוני עושה לכם, ושמתם את פריד על רוחכם לנפשכם. I implore you, place these words in your homes, place these words in your hearts. Teach your children so that you have heavenly days right here on earth. birthright. Just grosso on page 47, 48. Umalchuso beratzon kiblolim. Moses and Miriam, Moshe and Miriam b'nai Yisrael, they offered up a song, B'simcha Rabbah, with great joy, with great joy. They were so happy. They said, come, let's sing a song together. Let it be that freedom song, V'yamru Chulam.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני
Elohim Adonai,
מי כמוך
מי כמוך,
נדר בקודש
נדר בקודש,
Olam. Tehi Elok,
ראו בניך,
בניך
בוקי הים, לפני משה ומרים,
כי פתה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו אתה
Ashkivenu.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים Sukkot Shlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Yal Kol Amo Yisrael, Yal Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Yal Yerushalayim.
Please rise if you're able. Shamru on page 51 and 52.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael
Et HaShabbat V'asot et HaShabbat Dorot Zamiri
Yitkadav Yitkadash Mei Rabbah V'yamad Yivrach Yirutei V'yamlech Malchutei B'chayecho V'yom Echad Uv'chayei V'chol Beit Yisrael B'gala B'gala Uv'izman Kariv Yimru Amen Eish Mei Rabbah Mivorach L'olam Yomei
Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitbar, Yitroma, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yit'aleh, Yit'alal, Aishmei Dekudisha B'richu, Le'ela, Min Kol Birchasa, V'shir Asa, Ushvechasa, V'yechem Masa, Damiran Ya'allah, and let us say, we stand together in our own private meditations or reflections. Traditional Amidah and other options are on page 53 in your Siddur.
Shalom, 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 shalom. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Salam, salam, salam. You may be seated.
Over the last 14 years, I think, unless I've spoken about this particular part of the Torah, at least maybe a dozen, maybe more times, and in the shul itself. A number of years ago, on Yom Kippur, I spoke about a mysterious part of the Torah that I want to talk about again tonight. It's part of the Torah that every single year we come to it, and I can't believe that more people haven't noticed it or don't talk about it all the time. And when I look into the commentaries, it's really perplexing. It bothers people, but they're really not really sure what to make of it. And so I want to make something of it with you tonight, in the next 10 or 12 minutes. The part of the Torah that I'd like to talk about is, of course, my obsession with what Rabbi Rivera wrote about tonight, about the beams of light that seem to have come out of Moses' face at the end of this week's Torah portion. In chapter 34 of the book of Exodus, we're told that when Moshe comes down from the mountain, V'lo yada Moshe ki karan or panav, and Moshe didn't know that his face was illuminate with rays of light. Ki karan or panav. Not only is it odd that the Torah begins telling us about a phenomena by telling us with its first introduction that Moses didn't know something about it, instead of introducing it and saying, there's this thing called rays of light, and you know that thing? Moshe didn't know he had it. But the very first moment the Torah introduces the notion that a person's face can be illuminate with light is a negation. Let's put that to the side for a moment. But just the notion that at the end of this week's Torah reading, we're introduced out of nowhere, as if, didn't you know that this happens all the time? People come down from mountains where they were talking to God, and then they happen to be illuminate with rays of light. And the Torah goes at length into describing the complexity of being such an individual. Moshe now has light emitted from his face. It scares people. He has to put a mask on. We're introduced to the notion of a masveh. He wears a mask when the people are, it seems, when they're speaking to him, that's also not clear. Does he take it off when he speaks to the people, puts it on when he's out in the camp? All of a sudden, at the end of tomorrow morning's reading, and I'll talk about why it's so weird, we're introduced to the complexity of being too illuminate, having too much light in your face. And on top of that, the Torah seems to tell us that Moshe was up on the mountain at least twice preceding this moment. And in the previous two times Moshe comes down from the mountain, he has no such facial problem. He doesn't have that. Something about this third and final time that Moses is on the mountain and what he brings down seems to be important in understanding the nature of this light and this phenomena that the Torah is speaking to and what it might mean for us. Of course, it comes at the end of a very, very painful and powerful Torah portion. Parshat Ki Tisa, which we'll be reading tomorrow will be reading for us, is essentially the centerpiece of a story about heights and depths, about Icarus falling, as it were, with his wings tinged by the sun. It is the story of a people who have been to the mountaintop, who have experienced the divine, who have seen and experienced the sublimity of divine revelation. And then there is the building of the Mishkan, the tabernacle. Things are going great. And Parshat Ki Tisa brings us into trauma and drama, into pain and breaking. It comes at the center of the 5 portions in the book of Exodus that deal with the building of the Mishkan, and we're told that the building of the tabernacle, or the portable Mishkan, the portable sanctuary in the desert, is likened to the creation of the world. And if the centerpiece of the creation of the world has a golden calf and its aftermath in it, then it tells you something about ontogeny, about being itself. That to be is to be someone or humans who scale heights and then know the pain of falling from them. To be a human being is to know transcendence and sublimity, and also to know degradation, remorse, regret, mistake, and its aftermath. Parshat Ki Tisa, tomorrow morning's reading, will bring us into the heart of that trauma, the golden calf and the building of the golden calf, and then in its aftermath, Moses breaks tablets. The first time he comes down from the mountain holding tablets, he sees the golden calf and he breaks the tablets. And then what ensues is Moshe's forgiveness plan. Moshe then begins to ask God for forgiveness on behalf of the Jewish people, and the Jewish people begin to ask for forgiveness. And by the time we get to this strange part of the Torah portion that I began with, the illuminate face of Moshe, we've already been through a cycle of rapprochement. Moshe, in his second journey up to the mountain, asks God, now that you have forgiven the Jewish people, now that we have seen that it is possible to have breakage and then healing, Moshe then asks God, can I know you a little bit more? I really want to know you. Show me your face, God. And God says, no. You will not be able to see me. You can only see the back of my head. And God places Moshe into a cleft on the rock. And God promises Moshe, V'sakoti et kapi alecha. I will place my palm of my hand covering that cleft in the rock, that cave. And then I will pass my goodness before you, and Moshe, you'll get something. It's not what you wanted, but something. And then Moshe comes down. God sends him back up again to build the second tablets. And in his third descent from the mountain, Moshe, holding the newly restored and healed tablets, representing also the restored relationship between God and the Jewish people, that's when Moshe's face goes all neon. The rabbis are completely perplexed by what it could be that would have brought Moshe's face to become so illuminate. Where did Moshe get the light from, the rabbis ask? And a number of years ago I said, from the space inside of the tablets, that was one idea, but there are 2 other ideas. But note for a moment, nobody thinks that Moshe's face is illuminated because he was face to face with God. That would have been the simple answer. You would have asked me, where did he get it from? He borrowed the light from God. But the rabbis have a much more complicated and beautiful 2 ideas. Where did Moshe get the light from? Says one rabbi, from the cave where he was placed in the cleft of the rock as God passed before him. Another rabbi said, no, it came from that ink. The remainder of ink from the quill in which Moshe wrote the Torah, there was a little bit of ink left over, and from that ink that was remaining, the leftover ink, that's what gave Moshe his divine rays. So let's unpack those 2 ideas. What might it mean for me and for you to imagine that Moshe's face, which is of course the fruit and the promise, the reward of having been in the clarity of divine presence, what might that look like? The first thing that it feels like to me is that God caressed Moshe's face with his palm. From the caress of divine hand on Moshe's face, in the aftermath of having been told no, you can't have everything you want, Moshe became illuminated. As if God was comforting Moshe for a lost dream. As if God were comforting Moshe in the aftermath of something that he had hoped with all of his heart something he had begged for, and God said to him, I'm sorry, but in the comfort of God's protective palm, Moshe becomes illuminated. In the protective place of the cave, in the place where God doesn't show us God's face, but we only know God's presence after it has left. In the comfort and in the illumination and in the insights of mistakes made but learned from, we become illuminated. The face of Moshe, and each and every one of us has a face that becomes illuminated by the rays that are drawn from the protective caves, as it were, the spaces in which we feel held, known. And even with our foibles and our vulnerabilities, even with all of those things that we bring into that cave, we are protected. V'sakoti et kapi alecha ad ovri. I will hold you until I pass. We become ourselves the fruit of the labor that comes with only seeing the back of God's head, not getting everything we wanted, not knowing how it is to deal with disappointments, but knowing that because we worked with it, we have that reward. But I'm a kulmos kind of guy. I like the second interpretation. Man, Moshe's face is illuminated from the leftover ink, from the quill in which he wrote the Torah. That's trippy. You mean the thing that at the end of the project that you thought wasn't worth much, and you then went back and got it and lifted it again? Passed it over your head, as Rabbi Mira said? That you said it wasn't just enough to write Torah on parchment, but you were going to become Torah in body? You mean the thing that was at the end of the day after you came home as an essential worker and you had nothing left in the tank, but there was a little bit of ink left in the quill that makes the holy, and you used it to make light? You mean when you thought you couldn't go on, or you thought you had come to it was done, it was over? That's it, that little bit of ink. That little bit of ink at the end, you say, nah, what's that for? What are we going to use that for, that little bit of ink? That leftover ink that's left over for each and every human being to write Torah with their lives with. That kulmus. Moshe's face radiant from these two moments, radiant from having been in the cave and have been protected until he could come out again like all of us here. Moshe writing Torah on his face with the leftover ink, the leftover empowerment. Because it all begins again from there. Moshe can come down and teach Torah because the Torah that he learned was Torah that was needed to go forward after the break. After there had been rock bottom, after there was no way forward, after there was no hope, Moshe's face irradiates. Moshe becomes the one who reminds the people, essentially, that it's possible to live into disappointment and emerge even stronger than you did the first two times you were up on the mountain. It's possible to make Torah out of nothing at all, and for that also to illuminate our faces. It's possible. And not only that, Parshat Ki Tisa each and every year promises us not only that it's possible, but that's what it is. Parshat Ki Tisa interrupts the story of the building of the tabernacle to say that it is part and parcel of building sacred community, emerging from brokenness, emerging from hopelessness and despair. It is part and parcel. It is not an interruption. It is the way of it. And Moshe's face would never have illuminated had he not had that know that God said to him and that protection, and had he not also had the courage to continue going when all things looked like it was nothing left in the tank. So guess what? That's now too. That's me and you. That's this face and your face and everyone here. Each and every one of you have been in a cave in some way, shape, or form, protected, disappointed, had a million no's thrown at you. And each and every one of you here, illuminate as I can see you are. Illuminate as Yonatan was on the day of his sermon, as illuminate as Heather was on the day of her sermon, as illuminate as Rabbi Mira was today when she gave over that light-filled poem. Each and every one of us lifts one another up and says, I think there's a little bit of ink left over in that quill. Want to go make some Torah with it? Romemu and other communities like it today and in the ensuing months will be continuing to acknowledge and venerate, really, the power of each and every one of you in your hearts. How you lived with the last 2 years and how we continue to live with this going forward. So there's that strange thing about the face of Moshe. Moshe's face was illuminate with the power of the human. What we can do and what we will. Please rise.
והשב אותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים.
Page 78.
והשב אותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני
Adonai yimloch le'olam v'en v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom ha'hu v'yom ha'hu yeh Adonai invite those who are in mourning in the first week or the first 30 days, or if you're observing a yortzeit tonight, to please rise. I invite you to say the name of loved ones here in the synagogue and chat the names of loved ones in the Zoomagog. There are also slides up with names of loved ones as well. Yeah, Sherry. David. Anyone else? In the chat area also, remember tonight Ted Tennant and Harold Doan, Betty Spiro Ramey, William Emerson Hill, in the Shloshim, we're in the Shloshim slide, Grace. Bernie Schneiderman, also Kim's father, to 10th solar yard site for Kim. Carol Sirota, Claudia Semowitz, Dr. John Spitzer, and Eva Reisman, Shmuel Leibman, Asher B'Shifra. I'm not going to say the names on those who have named their loved ones here. Louis Clare, and all of these members of our community as we take a look, bring them to mind. Peter Wolfberg. If it is your custom to stand for the mourners, please rise. For the Mourners Kaddish, you can find it on page 116, 115, as well as on the screen. Yiskadal v'yiskada shemei rabba.
Amen.
V'yomad yivrach yirusei, v'yamlich machusei, v'chayichon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman karib imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei. Yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal. Shmei d'kusha brichu. Le'ilah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran b'oma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlom rabba min shumaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Yaseh shalom b'mramav. V'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel. And let us say Amen.
Amen.
We lift them up, the memory of the great Tzaddik Ibrahim Farajajeh as well. You may be seated, everyone, very briefly as we thank those who have made this service possible tonight. Into this cup of blessing, a couple of thank yous tonight to our worship leaders tonight, to Jerry in honor of Rabbi Rivera. You were the added musician, I think, with Paul and Jerry.
Paul's the gig.
Paul's the gig, okay.
Paul Shapiro.
Paul Shapiro.
Paul Shapiro.
Shkoach, Rich. Thank you, Paul. To our rabbinic fellow, JSI rabbinic fellow, Jackson Mercer, and to Chazan Vatsi Schechter, and to Rabbi Rivera for a beautiful poem tonight. We also want to thank our davening team, our Cyrus and Nate, who are production, and thanks to all of those behind the scenes as well, to, I think, Grace, Natalia, Ariel, Jeff, Ryan, Victor, Justin Jr., and Freddie. Tomorrow morning again at 8:45 with Rabbi Koloresis will be the open book, and then 10 o'clock with Tamar Katz, who was actually going to lead us in Kiddush right now. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we get Tamar?
And Rich Stein.
We can't forget Rich. Rich. She's great.
I miss you, Rich. Don't worry. You guys missed it. I never forget Rich. Okay, everybody. Please rise for Kiddush. You can find it on page 88. Tamar, are you there? I don't see Tamar. There she is, everybody. Grace, can you see Tamar? I know we're trying to... I see you on my algorithm. Grace, can you see Tamar?
Is it under Jeremy?
No, it says Tamar. I see her very clearly. Jeremy, we're waiting, I know. We're just waiting for Grace. Grace? Okay, and there she is. You have to unmute. Grace, you have to let her unmute or unmute them. Thank you. No, There, it went back again. It was there. Okay, don't do anything. Okay, there we go.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו. כי בשבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. שרי ברוך אתה אדוני בורא פרי הגפן.
Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצה בנו. בשבת קודשו ובראתני חילוני זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כי הוא ים
תחילה נקרא קודש, תפארת יציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים. בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו.
ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
everybody. Good Shabbos. We'll be here tomorrow. Good Shabbos, everybody. We'll be here tomorrow. All Shabbos. We're here. We're not going anywhere.